friends, welcome back. I'm very excited for today's video. I do have to say this, and I don't want to, but I have to say I'm not covering Cuckoo. It is not out where I am. It's not out where I live. Trust me, it makes me more sad than you, but I do have something very exciting to talk about today. Today I'm gonna go see Strange Darling. This is a horror romance thriller directed by J.T. Molnar, starring Willa Fitzgerald and Kyle Gellner. I don't know too much about the film. I did see a teaser trailer a little while back and I tried to look the other way, but I know it's about a one-night stand that goes wrong, and it looks like kind of like a cat and mouse game, but the poster is giving cosmic horror, so I don't know, anything can happen in horror. All I know is this film is meant to be quite slick, and of course, as I said by the poster, the cinematography looks to hopefully match that. I'm down to go in blind if you want to come along with me, and I'll let you know spoiler free whether it's worth your time and going out to go check it out in the cinema. I know a couple of people who managed to catch this film in film festivals earlier in the year, and they absolutely loved it. They didn't tell me anything else, but they liked it. They said it was really fun. So I'm hoping I will agree. It's always interesting when something is a romance horror, because that could go one or two ways. I don't know, I just feel like it might not end well. It's a horror, you know what I mean? I tell you, no romance could be as horrifying as it ends with us, which I saw last week. Do you guys want to come with me to see Strange Darling? Let's go. Oh my god, that, guys, that is what horror is about. Yes, we got a good one. Oh my god, I enjoyed that film so much. It's not perfect, but it is unique. It is interesting. I don't want to say fun. It is fun. It is fun. And it was just so enjoyable from start to end. Oh my god, I did not understand what this film was about, and it really is best to go in as blind as possible. And for that, I very much enjoyed it. So we are going to keep a lot to some of the great things to do with this story and this film without going too much into the plot, as I usually do, but I think it's very important in this one. Go out and see this film, okay? Go out and see it as soon as you can. That film is absolutely wild. It is not cosmic horror by any means. I don't know where I got that idea from. I think that was just the cover with the girl who's like wearing has the whimsical kind of look with the hair. The film is shot entirely on 35mm film. I was a little bit worried at the start. I'm like, is this gonna be a kind of experimental horror, which it is in some ways, and kind of try and rest all on its looks? But I can tell you it has a lot of smarts, a lot of surprises, and just the way it looks just happens to be this complete bonus feature. But a lot of the way that this film is put together makes it really stand out and stand on its own. It's a very interestingly stylized film. First thing you'll notice about it is the 35mm. So you do notice a lot of the shots, because logistically how they have to shoot with that. The composition of them is a little bit awkward, but once you get into the flow of it, the story is kind of I wouldn't say intentionally awkward, but it's so different that it kind of gives it its own feeling, which I really liked. They also really upped the vibrancy in the tones, so everything is very vibrant, and I just loved the look of it. It felt very 70s, but at the same time, it is a very timeless movie, and it's not set in the 70s, so I thought that was a really interesting feel, because it kind of even starts off feeling almost like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it really incorporates a lot of, I guess, iconic homages to serial killers or like maniac kind of films, and it brings that into the stylization and really gives it that old kind of, as I said before, timeless feel, which I thought was really cool. I also really loved the way they incorporated the music into the film. There's only a couple of tracks that are repeating. They really focus heavily on the lyrics. It's very simple and it doesn't just try and do the most theatrics. I really enjoyed how that all came together. The tone of this film is what is one of the most surprising parts, because it really does go through all of the emotions. I was disgusted at points. There's blood, there's gore. I was shocked at points, and then the whole cinema was laughing at points. So there's a lot of very strange activity. The film is called Strange Darling, and it really lives up to its name. I guess another unique thing that we can talk about is that the film is broken into chapters. It breaks it up, but it also allows the audience to feel like they are participating in the film almost. You have to put it together yourself. It's quite obvious, but it really means there's no like backseat watching. You can't watch this while you're doing a different activity. And because of the cinematography and all those different aspects, I think that this is definitely one you want to see at the cinema with a crowd and really pay attention to all of the details, because I think that's the best way to soak it all in, especially if it's worth the ride. If you like unique cinema, dude, this is the one. I'm telling you, this is definitely going into my top 10. I don't know where yet, but it's definitely going somewhere in there. As for performances, Willa Fitzgerald, who I believe was in The House of Usher, is fantastic in this film. Standout performance. Everything you want in a performance as well. Really pushing her to the edge, and I just thoroughly enjoyed her, and I really hope she sticks to horror because it suits her very well. And talking about her performance, I think it's really interesting what this film did with the dialogue, because there are some chatty parts for sure, especially, you know, when they're meeting and all that kind of stuff. But there are long periods of this film where there is not much dialogue at all, maybe a couple of words spoken. It's very heavy on the action, and I felt like I was on the edge of my seat in more of a psychological kind of way. It is a horror thriller. I would say it's very psychological as well. Usually I'm not a big fan of the roller coaster of going in and out of different, I wouldn't say tones, but different pacing. But I did really enjoy that in this film, that there were scenes upon scenes where there was minimal dialogue. It wasn't forced. They didn't try and do too much. They gave you just enough. But the things I didn't like about this film, I do think it's strange that it is on IMDb as a romance. I don't think that was needed. It is more about a one-night stand, so I think that is totally fine, and it doesn't really need to oversell itself. And I would say towards the end of the film, you could really feel people wanting it to wrap up. I could have stayed with those characters for so long, but I do understand that it does take its time, but I do think that is also true to its nature of what is happening in the film and kind of like the purposeful frustration you feel while watching it. This film makes you feel so many emotions and really makes you think about the way you react to it and why, and I really enjoyed that. This film is incredibly straightforward, but the cinematography, the acting, and the way it's put together will keep you on your toes in more ways than one. It's not just the bloody action. There's just so much to enjoy and so much to sink your teeth right into. I promise you there are reasons I have not gone into detail, and you will thank me later, but my number one tip for you is to go out and watch this film. If you like anything unique, you will like this film. This is what filmmaking is about, pushing the boundaries and giving us something new, or something that we've seen before, but in a new way. I love this film. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. I don't think it's a perfect film by any means, but it is oozing uniqueness and charisma, and it was just the best time. I'm so excited. I went with my friend Lucy, who hates horror movies, and she enjoyed it, so that's saying something. For originality, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I do think that this has been done before, but I just feel like this was a fresh way to do it, and if that makes any sense. And for scare, I didn't find it quite scary, but it is quite gory, so I'll probably give it like a 5 out of 10. Anyway, check out Strange Darling, my stamp of approval. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed putting it together for you, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. I'm gonna go see Alien tomorrow, and I'll see you then. Bye, friends.